Hello and welcome to View from the Deck from Princess Yachts in partnership with Boat International. Today we're talking history of yachting. This year marks 60 years at Princess. So this is a perfect opportunity to find out what's happened over the past few years and what kind of evolution we've seen in the world of yachting. To help me unpack, Simon Colebrooke, Head of Sales at Princess, and Nick Burnham from Aquaholic. Okay, so Simon, what kind of changes have you seen in the way people approach boating?
I think one of the biggest changes I've seen is the way that customers are so much better informed. They know as much about the boat as we do if they're serious about buying it, and that changes the dynamic.
How about you, Nick? Have you seen some changes in the last few years, and what more significant things have happened?
I think Simon and I both go back an awful long way. I started in the industry back in the late 80s.
Wow.
Which is just unbelievable. And you were starting around the same sort of time, I think.
1932, I think.
1932, there you go, pre-war. Amazing.
Wooden boats, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
I think if you go back to those sort of 80s and 90s, the people buying the boats were real boat enthusiasts. It was about the boat. Previously, the priority was all about the seakeeping and the styling and the way it looked. Although that's still important to people, the emphasis has shifted. And so now people are saying, but we need to have that big fridge freezer. We want people to be comfortable. We don't want people thinking, I'm camping. We want people to feel at home.
Are there milestones from either of you over the last few years that to say, yeah, that definitely started something?
One of the interesting ones was 2005 was when Volvo Penta brought out IPS.
Oh, yes.
And suddenly we got joystick docking. For a lot of people going boating, they're terrified of getting the boat in and out of the berth. And I think that...
You always get an audience then, don't you?
Yes.
There's always loads of people.
I've always felt that the success of your berthing is inversely proportional to the amount of people watching.
Exactly.
You know, the time you get it absolutely dead on, there's not a soul to be seen.
Yeah, no,
exactly. But I think with IPS, all of a sudden you had this ability to literally be able to drive the boat side, but you didn't have to think about which way you were putting the throttles and the wheel and all that sort of stuff. But I think then that kind of blossomed outwards because suddenly people wanted that kind of convenience and that kind of ability.
I totally agree. Is that coming from the younger generation wanting this type of... Do you see a big change in terms of the age bracket?
No, I think there has been, and I think what we're seeing is that at one end of the scale, probably the slightly more traditional family boaters, but at the other end of the scale, definitely new customers, you know, a new generation.
Any other event during the past few years that say, oh yeah, that definitely turned the corner?
I think from our point of view, there's this never-ending quest, if you like, for better efficiency. Whenever we develop a new product, we're always looking to make it more efficient than the last boat we developed. And I think customers are looking for that as well.
So Nick, we were just talking about the role of YouTube, maybe Instagram, Facebook. How much has that evolved?
I think one of the big problems for the industry is trying to bring new people into it. Nobody visits a boat show and nobody picks up a boat magazine unless they're already interested in boating. And I think that this is what YouTube in particular puts boating in front of people that didn't know they were interested in boating. I actually had one guy who approached me genuinely and he said to me, "You have changed my life." He said, "I started watching your channel during lockdown."
You've ruined me.
Yeah, exactly. I did say I got broad shoulders, but he'd started watching during lockdown a couple of years ago. He said, sod it, he sold it, he lived in the Midlands, he sold up, he moved to Brixham, he bought a boat, and now he lives down here and he goes boating and he spends his time boating. And he said, and I had no idea about boats, I had no idea how wonderful this is.
You have a wonderful line, the S series, so S is for sports, am I right?
Yeah, it's the quicker, lower profile.
Tell me a little bit more about this series. Is that more to appeal to that younger clientele?
It is, yeah. It's a sport boat, it's quick, there's amazing outdoor space in the cockpit, the sunbed aft, and more importantly, up on the flybridge, which doesn't detract from the profile of the boat, so it still looks sleek, but you get all that entertaining space up there as well. So it's a brilliant combination.
I think as well, the other thing that I noticed, for a long time you had your sports series, your V-Class,
Yep.
and you had your flybridge, and that was it. We do those two lines in different sizes. And now suddenly there's the X class, there's the new ones that you're bringing out, and I think that's got to broaden the appeal.
Yeah, no, it has, and that goes back to, you know, different people coming into the industry, different people getting into boating and enjoying it. And if you've got a range of products that you can offer to them, you know, you're going to get more of those people into your brand. The difference, I think, the fundamental difference really between the S and say the X is the amount of accommodation that you get. When we designed the X class, the challenge was start with a certain hull size and then how much floor space, how much accommodation, how much socializing space can you get into that length of hull. It's all about giving customers this environment, this home from home, this space that they want on the water.
Well, thank you very much again for joining me. And of course, thank you for watching. You can keep up with Princess and as well Boat International on the YouTube channel and social. Thanks for watching.